Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a long time since I've done a battle report, but I'm finally getting back into it. I've got a bit of time at the moment to do a couple of battle reports. We're going to go back to Lord of the Rings. I don't think I've done any battle reports for Lord of the Rings yet. I've got a campaign going. It starts off in 2 weeks' time, so just getting some practice games in and just relearning the rules. Lots changed since I played. I used to play with the big blue rulebook, but now it's obviously the Hobbit book. But thankfully, GW have decided that they're going to re-support Lord of the Rings, and with all that interest, we've got a fair few players in it. I think we've got 10 in our campaign, 5 for good, 5 for evil, so it should be good. So with the amount of time I've got to spend painting, I don't have very many painted figures at the moment, so my 500 points is very easily made up of elves. Here I've got gil-galad, that's 4 elves with elven blades, 6 with bow. The red shirts there with the elven blades, they're all King's Guard, so they're fight 6 instead of fight 5. Over on the other flank, I've also got Elrond, and he's got 8 elves, again with elven blades with him. So a very small warband on my side, and let's go and see what the uruk-hai have. So to start with, next to the church, we've got 10 uruk-hai with shields, 1 berserker, 1 captain with heavy armour and shield. In the centre is what I'm probably dreading most. That's what, 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yep, 10 crossbowmen. And again, an uruk-hai captain, this time just the heavy armour. And on my right hand side, there is another 10 uruk-hai. Oh no, only 9 uruk-hai, berserker, and this time with a shaman. So this is what the board looks like overall. You can see gil-galad there on the left hand side. My thinking is gil-galad and his 4 guard will just run around and try and take out those uruk-hai. Gil-galad's pretty fighty. I mean, he's got what, fight 9, 3 attacks, and of course he's got the +1 to wound. It's absolutely fantastic. My archers, on the other hand, are just going to go up to this crop, just to give me some cover. So you'll need what, a 3+ pass to get by it with the shooting, and hopefully just hold up all his crossbowmen so they don't shoot my combatty guys. So my opponent had initiative and started spreading his uruk-hai out there just to form a wall. See, I moved gil-galad up to the left, and as I say, my bowman into the field. Elrond's going to start running around this flank here across the bridge. I really was tempted to go the other way, but I thought if I showed myself up for too much, those crossmen will change facings and just shoot Elrond. So I'm going to dash around here. I was really debating whether I should spend some might points to be able to heroic march, which basically gives me an extra 3-inch movement. But I have a feeling I'm really going to need his might in the combats to try and beat off the uruk-hai he'll be so outnumbered against. Shooting was quite painful. I managed to lose 2 elves, even though I had the bonus of the cover. But I did manage to take out one of the crossbowmen. But at this rate, my elves aren't going to last too long to act as a distraction here. So next turn, I'll move up pretty heavy on the left, bringing Elrond up there and start forming a wall so the uruk-hai can get behind me. Elrond is trying to cross the bridge, and the uruk-hai just try and hide and send some more volleys of crossbow bolts into my guys. It's just a shot of Elrond trying to dash across the bridge. Yeah, I'll lose yet another elf, but still I'm holding up, what, 9 crossbowmen and a shaman. Luckily, the shaman on his first turn tried to cast an Epic Fury, rolled 2 dice to try and get it on a 3+, and rolled a 2 and a 1, so that failed. So it really puts the shaman out of the game. He's only got Transfix now and a spear. And this is how it's looking at the end of the turn. Again, the uruk-hai managed to steal priority, so gil-galad, fearing they're going to run away and then they'll just get shot by the crossbowmen, decides to call a heroic charge, or heroic move, and charges in with his elves and he himself. My plan here is hopefully going to call heroic combat, kill off that uruk-hai, and maybe take on 2 others. Here you can just see Elrond in the top there, crossing the bridge. He's nearly into the combat at the top there. I think the uruk-hai up there just backed off a bit, not wanting to get charged too soon. Gil-galad did his thing, managed to kill off the uruk-hai in front of him. I also lost an elf, unfortunately, and I killed off another uruk-hai in the combat with the elves. Gil-galad jumped forwards and managed to put a wound onto the uruk-hai captain as well, so he's doing alright there. So again, it was another uruk-hai priority, and they charged in, trying to surround the rest of my elves that I have there. They managed to charge in gil-galad as well, even though it causes terror, so I wasn't too impressed there. I do seem to be holding up the uruk-hai here with all the shooting. They managed to wipe out another bowman. So this is my last guy. And I think all I've done is one casualty, so my return fire wasn't that fantastic. But as I say, it kept them shooting there. These guys instead of my combat chaps, which should hopefully save me later on in the game. In the combats on the left here, Gil-galad unfortunately lost his combat there, and I think I had to use a point of fate. That was mainly from the uruk-hai captain, and I also lose 2 elves, so it wasn't a great fight at all. So again, the uruk-hai win priority. My archer down the bottom there is not dead, he's just scarpered into the trees. The more cover he gets, the more chance he has of surviving. It's not far off broken. I think I started with 20 guys, so I've got to be down to 10, then I'm broken. With all my chaps in combat or behind the hill, I don't have to fear of shooting. So I say my archer scarpered. On the far side, I've got surrounded there with my last elf and gil-galad, who again is going to try and take someone on, though he doesn't get surrounded. Thankfully Terra saves him. And Elrond also pushes forwards to try and take out as many uruk-hai as he can. My elf actually wins the combat and beats everyone back, while Gil-galad actually beats his opponents and slays the uruk-hai captain, so not a bad run on this side. So I get priority and move over the hill and into combat. I did try Nature's Wrath with Elrond with 2 dice. Unfortunately the 4 was the highest I could roll, and the uruk-hai captain resisted it with also a 4, so that was a bit unfortunate. I was hoping to knock them all down and charge in, but as you can see I try to get to one-on-one combats the best I can, and I'll be fighting with 2-handed weapons. I may as well have got the better fight and a better chance of wounding the damn guys. So this is just before the uruk-hai movement on this flank. He charges in, surrounds the elf, and also charges in, surrounds Elrond. I think only one of the guys don't manage to make it in due to the terror. The battle on the hill was a bit of a mixed fortune here. I killed off 2 uruk-hai for the loss of 1 elf, though I did manage to wound again the opposing uruk-hai captain. And over here the last of the king guards went down, but Gil-galad showed his stuff and managed to kill off 2 of the uruk-hai. So this is how things are looking in the next round of combat. I think my opponent won initiative again. I'm going to be honest here, I'm starting to struggle. I think I might be down to half strength. That's 10 models, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah, so I am broken. And I do remember losing a couple of guys, so my courage tests. Unfortunately, I think I overestimated what Gil-galad could do. I thought him and a couple of guys would be able to take up this flank quite easily, and unfortunately he's now been pinned in and is probably doomed to die. On the other hand, Elrond is free to slaughter those guys. If I can break through them and get at those archers, that would be fantastic. All I need now is just a few more casualties. And they do start, luckily free from the uruk-hai. The uruk-hai shot into the combat between the elf and the single uruk-hai there, and all the shots landed on the uruk-hai, taking him out quite nicely early on. So that's freed up one of my elves. Now Elrond's in combat. He's now pulling his weight and slays both the uruk-hai captain and the uruk-hai that was with him. I think along the rest of the board there, it was just pretty much a push either way. Over here it was a close one. I managed to win the combat with only rolling a 4, but I was surrounded, and Gil-galad wins and slays 2 more uruk-hai. If he keeps this up, that'll be fantastic. He should be able to wipe out this flank, as I hoped he would do. Again, the uruk-hai get priority and throw themselves in to get as many combats as they can. They also throw themselves into Elrond to take him on, and then in the shooting phase they open fire into the combat between Elrond and the uruk-hai, but managed not to wound either of us, thankfully for that. During the combat I actually lost the combat, but they failed to put any wounds through on me. Defense 7 helping out. The combats here weren't much to write home about, remembering I have to be reduced to 5 men. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got 6 now. They have to kill 1 more to win, and I think I'm still a fair way off. I think they might be near breaking, but not anywhere near the 25%. So I charge Elrond off into the crossbowmen, using Nature's Wrath on the way in, making sure I can knock down all the crossbowmen, and also manage to knock down 2 uruk-hai at the top there, which I then charge in with my elves. So this is the end of the uruk-hai movement. As you can see, the crossbowmen have got up, but won't be able to shoot this turn, which was fantastic. That was the main reason for knocking them over, just so they don't shoot into the combats and kill off the 1 elf that you need to win this game. On the other hand, I think the uruk-hai are broken now. Just quick hand up. Yep, they're broken. So I only have to reduce them to 8. So if I can do that without losing an elf, that'll be fantastic. So with the 2 crossbowmen on the floor, I had to call heroic action here, heroic fight. I slayed both of them and then dashed across to take on these 2 crossbowmen. And they failed to kill either of them. Actually, I think I lost the combat. I might have been risking a two-handed blade, but yeah, lost the combat there. But I did manage to kill 2 of the other side. So these are the elves elsewhere. Only managed to kill off 1 uruk-hai for no loss of elves, which is fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, he still has to kill 2 more, so I'm still okay. Still okay with elves so far. So this is how it looked the turn after. As you can see, I've managed to break the uruk-hai without losing the elves I needed. I think I was down to 1 elf needing to go down. He did manage to kill off 1 of his own uruk-hai in the combat. He fired into the combat, not doing any damage to my elf, but killing off an uruk-hai. Gil-galad did his job over there, got rid of the shaman and that, and killed off all but 2 of the uruk-hai in that flank, so he did his job. Elrond struggled, but managed to kill off 1 of the crossbowmen, and you can see the elves ganged up on the single uruk-hais on the far side, and managed to take him out. Leaving me to win the game, and poor uruk-hai, just 1 elf away from winning. And as always, just a quick shout out to my giveaway. As I say, I don't put any adverts on this, I don't make any money through doing this, I just do it for fun. And just to add to the fun, I try and get hold of some stuff to give away. In this case, I have the Saga rulebook along with the 4 main battle boards to begin the Saga game with, and 2 lots of dice as well. We have the Christian Saga dice and the Viking Saga dice as well. So, to find out what you need, first of all, I need 793 subscribers. That's the start of the Viking Age. And to find out more, just check out my Celts Call video for the last winner. Cheers! So my club is running a campaign. It's going to be starting in 2 weeks, so if you have a look at my blog, I should have the map up, roughly what we're going to be doing to play it. It's going to be pretty open. There'll be forces from different factions playing all over the place. We've done that because, as I say, I'm running it as a club thing, so I want the different players to step in, step out as they wanted, but still be able to take part in the overall campaign. So it'll just be a good first sequel based over a 3-year period of the campaign, and we'll see how it goes. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and farewell.